Planting season is right around the corner, and farmers are busy getting their fields prepared for the new year. And as always, weather will play a major role in the planting process. Damon Jones recently talked with UGA climatologist Pam Knox and tells you what to expect in the coming months.
This will be a familiar sight over the next few weeks as farmers are gearing up for the start of yet another planting season. It's the time of year that brings a fair amount of excitement and optimism.
Oh yeah, I really look forward to it. It's a new start. It's a new beginning of the new year, so you look forward to making another good crop.
However, nothing will determine the farmer's success during this time of year quite like the weather. And so far, the early indications are that planting conditions are going to be near ideal.
We're going into the growing season with some good subsurface moisture. We don't see any prospect for drought, at least on the near-term horizon.
But as usual, the conditions haven't been perfect, as recent storms throughout the state have delayed some of the preparations.
It's a very busy time. We actually about 2 weeks behind right now. We haven't run a turbo till back over our land just so we can dry it out to get it bedded.
While making an accurate weather forecast more than a couple of weeks out is near impossible, Knox does have a good idea of what type of conditions farmers can expect to see during the growing season.
We do think that we may see an El Nino developing over the course of the summer. Usually it's pretty hard to predict yet this time of year if it's going to come, but the predictions now are up above 50% for one to develop by late summer.
As for what that means for farmers,
what that means is that if we go into an El Nino, typically that suppresses hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean, which means we could have a little bit drier fall. That might not be all bad, I mean, as far as harvesting goes and things like that.
There are also plenty of models that predict weather patterns after the harvesting season. If an El Nino does develop this summer, farmers can expect to see quite a bit of moisture next winter.
As far as next winter goes, we know that when we have an El Nino winter, we have wet and cool conditions, especially across the south part of Georgia, but sometimes across the whole state, especially if it's a really strong one, as they think there might be this year. So that means that probably going into next winter, we're going to see a continuation of wet conditions, probably pretty cloudy too, because that usually goes along with the wet conditions.
Now, with all that information in mind, Knox believes farmers might not have to worry about irrigating their lands quite so much this season.
I don't think that putting in irrigation is going to be a huge issue. There's obviously going to be some periods where we might go through dry spells. So if you've got a field or a crop that's really sensitive to that, then that's something you'd have to be considering. I don't think this is necessarily going to be a year when you're going to have to worry about going out and buying huge amounts of hay or anything like that. Climatology indicates we're in pretty good shape. I don't see that there's going to be a huge amount of problems with water supply or anything at this point.
Reporting from Watkinsville, I'm Damon Jones for the Georgia Farm Monitor.